You know that feeling when you walk into like a massive sports bar on a Sunday?
Oh, yeah, where there are screens absolutely everywhere.
Right. Just dozens or maybe hundreds of screens glowing, and every single game is playing simultaneously.
It is honestly a little overwhelming.
It really is.
Yeah.
And you just stare at it thinking, how do they keep all of this straight without the building catching on fire?
It's a miracle it doesn't, honestly.
Right. Well, today we are taking a deep dive into the hidden technological nervous system that powers the screens in your everyday life.
Yeah, it's something we just completely take for granted.
Totally. We're using the product ecosystem from a company called HDTVSupply as our guide today, just to see how the pros actually do it.
We really do tend to think of video as just, a screen and a plug. But the reality behind the walls is this highly complex, almost invisible infrastructure.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if you want to understand how this works, you kind of have to start small.
Right, you can't just jump straight into the deep end.
Exactly. So think of a single, humble piece of gear. Like the source mentions this Turtle AV USB-C 4K60 video extender kit.
Which is basically just a really efficient way to make a single high-definition video cord reach further across a room.
Right. But the crazy thing is how fast this underlying technology scales up.
Oh, it really does. I mean, we quickly move out of the living room and into the massive scale of commercial AV routing.
Yeah, you go from extending one little connection to deploying these massive central hubs.
The Wolfpack modular matrix switchers.
Yes, the Wolfpacks. And the sheer volume they can handle is just insane.
Yeah, the catalog lists switchers that can route 4K video to 8, 36, or even up to 160 TVs all at once.
160 TVs, all running off standard networking cables.
Usually just using Cat-T6 cables or AV over IP.
So is a 160 TV matrix switcher essentially the central brain of a mega sports bar? Like acting like a traffic cop so the right game hits the right screen without a pixel out of place.
What's fascinating here is that your traffic cop analogy is exactly right. Yeah, because we are no longer talking about just plugging a thick HDMI cable directly from a cable box to a monitor.
Right, that would be impossible at that scale.
Completely. By using AV over IP, which stands for Audiovisual over Internet Protocol, this gear is literally treating video streams like standard IT network traffic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it digitizes the high-resolution video into tiny data packets. Then it just zips them across a standard computer network.
And then it just rebuilds the image on the other end.
Flawlessly at the destination. It is pure data networking at this point.
But hang on. If a venue has 160 TVs running off this network, how does a single human control them without losing their mind?
Well, that is where the command center software comes in.
Okay, because I'm imagining a giant back room full of levers and switches.
Right, but you don't need a massive physical switchboard anymore. The control systems detailed here, they just run on free iOS and Android apps.
Really? Just a phone app?
Yeah, apps, web interfaces, and Windows 11 software. And this software also drives video wall processors.
Right, the things that stick all the TVs together into one image.
Exactly. You can configure everything from a simple 1x2 setup, which is just one image stretched across two screens.
Okay, that makes sense.
All the way up to a massive 10x1, 10-screen wide display, complete with multiple picture-in-picture feeds.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because the source mentions integrations with things like the DirecTV app. So a bartender can literally be wiping down a counter, holding a standard iPad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they just drag and drop the football game onto a 10-screen video wall with a single swipe.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you are seeing the absolute democratization of complex routing technology.
How do you mean?
Well, decades ago, sending video to that many screens required physical hardware buttons and, specialized technicians physically patching cables in a control room.
Right, like old school television studios.
Exactly. But today, intuitive software has completely replaced all that massive heavy iron.
But this technology doesn't just stop at the local pub. It scales all the way up to some pretty secret clients.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the source highlights some highly structured government purchasing channels.
Things like federal GSA schedules.
Right, and TAA-approved products, meaning they comply with strict federal trade agreements. Plus, the System for Award Management, or SAM.
And the NASA SOBP program, too.
Right, which is basically a pre-vetted tech catalog for federal agencies to buy IT products quickly. So what does this all mean?
It means they're buying this exact gear. A lot of it.
But I have to push back here. Why would a government agency, or like NASA, need the exact same Wolfpack matrix switcher as a local sports bar?
It seems crazy, right?
Yeah. I just assumed they'd build, well, I'd assume they use highly classified custom hardware for their command centers. Not off-the-shelf stuff. Why aren't they building their own?
This raises an important question about the universal need for secure, instantaneous data and video distribution.
Okay, going.
Designing custom hardware from scratch is incredibly slow and wildly expensive. At the end of the day, whether you are running a massive wall of screens tracking Sunday football or a high-stakes federal command center tracking satellite telemetry, the core capability required is identical.
You just need the picture to get there instantly.
Exactly. You need a system that won't drop a single frame, operating flawlessly and securely over a network. And commercial tech has simply become that capable.
It really reframes how you look at the world around you.
It really does.
The next time you walk into a venue and see a massive wall of perfectly synchronized TVs, you'll know there's a quiet, invisible Wolfpack matrix brain sitting in a back room rack.
Just running the whole show.
Running the whole show. The digital nervous system powering our weekend entertainment is basically built on the exact same architecture as the systems guarding national security.
Which is both amazing and slightly terrifying.
Which leaves you with one final thought to chew on. If civilian sports bars and high-level government command centers are now relying on the exact same AV over IP distribution technology, how long until commercial video systems become just as vulnerable to network hacks as federal databases?
That is a very good question.
Something to think about next time you order a drink.